All right, folks, welcome back to the Crisis Report. It is December 1st, 2025. Today we're going to be talking about, well, the waiting game, as it's known, and why this is entitled as such. We're playing a bit of a waiting game right now as we try to figure out what exactly is what with this whole Venezuela thing. It has been quite interesting, to say the least. And we don't really know where things are going. Supposedly they're going to strike, they're not going to strike. They're having conversations, they're negotiating, they're going to get him out. It's him and his family, he's going to be safe. No, he's not. I mean, it really is all over the place. So we're going to take you through the intel as we get it. We appreciate you being here. We're brought to you by Augusta Precious Metals. If you're possibly considering taking your 401k or your IRA and putting it into gold and silver, not that there's a lot of crazy news out there about such precious metals, but if you're thinking about it, this company is a great company to do it for or with. Link is in the description. Other than that, folks, we're going to take through the information. I know it's late. I'm sorry. This is as good as I can do it with all the stuff we got going on. And also, we're not exactly in our own little living situation right now, so it's going to be like this for a little bit longer. But once we get settled, and that's coming probably in the next couple weeks, we'll get it all together. But anyway, good to see you. Looks like we got some people. Yep, weird situation. Let's get started on your crisis report for December 1st, 2025, entitled Waiting Game. Let's go. Breaking. Tim Walz, donor and former Minneapolis Chamber CEO Jonathan Weinhagen, is expected to plead guilty to 5 counts of bank and wire fraud after allegedly embezzling more than $200,000. This whole thing in Minnesota is really taking some strange legs. And, yeah, I don't know what to tell you. But the Somalians and the little community over there, they're getting a hard look by a lot of people. So Mr. Walz would be wise to kind of play by the rules. U.S. Appeals Court has ruled that President Trump's former attorney Alina Habba is disqualified from serving as a prosecutor in New Jersey, and she is Habba. U.S. air travelers who still don't have a real ID will be required to pay a $45 fee before they're allowed to fly. Some people might not like that. MAGA influencers have been given new press credentials, declaring themselves, quote, the new media. Washington told Maduro, his wife, he, and his son would receive safe passage only if he resigned and left the country immediately, according to the Miami Herald. Maduro rejected this demand, asking for global amnesty, control of the armed forces, and more time. And the U.S. said, stuff it. Trump says he doesn't want immigrants from countries like Somalia that have virtually no government, no military. All they do is go around killing each other. Then they come into our country and tell us how to run our country. We don't want them. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum says we support Venezuela in the face of U.S. aggression. Mexican President Sheinbaum reaffirmed Mexico's support for Venezuela's sovereignty and rejected any military intervention following the new actions ordered by Trump, including the closure of Venezuelan airspace. 4 are charged in Australia over the satanic child abuse material. Sounds like peak 2025. Hong Kong police said on Monday they had arrested a total of 13 people for manslaughter over a deadly fire that ripped through an apartment complex last week, which killed just 146 people. I mean, if you've seen the video footage of it, it's pretty crazy video. Pretty terrible. The U.S. is going to zero out tariffs on British pharmaceutical companies' products under trade deals. So good. More drugs. I'm sure they're all good for us. U.S. to zero out tariffs on British pharma products under a new trade deal. That's a doubler. F-16 fighter jets have intercepted a civilian aircraft Saturday that flew through temporarily restricted airspace over Palm Beach, Florida, where President Trump's Mar-a-Lago is located. Where's CBS? President Trump's latest cardiovascular MRI shows he is in excellent health, and there are no acute or chronic concerns. White House Press Secretary Carolyn Levitt says, "It's so good. My heart is perfect." White House says it has launched a media bias portal to expose fake news. I looked around this thing. Pretty interesting, pretty funny. I mean, I don't know. They're like calling people out directly. Joaquin Guzman Lopez, son of the Mexican drug kingpin El Chapo, pled guilty to federal drug trafficking charges in Chicago. U.S. Treasury is investigating allegations that under the feckless mismanagement of the Biden administration and Governor Tim Walz, hard-working Minnesotans' tax dollars may have been diverted to the terrorist organization Al-Shabaab, according to Secretary Bessent. Ohio senators introduced a bill that bans Americans from holding dual citizenship. Trump's cabinet and top military brass will be briefed on the next steps involving Venezuela. U.S. administration has reportedly conveyed a message to the Iraqi government which states that an imminent Israeli operation against Hezbollah will commence soon. U.S.'s warning was conveyed over a severe Israeli strike in Iraq for pro-Iranian militias if they intervene. Spain has issued an unusual NOTAM over the Maicaricia FIR near Caracas, Venezuela, from December 1st to December 31st, 2025. Civil aviation operators are strongly advised against conducting any type of flight in the Maiquetía FIR SVZM due to the potential risk to civilian aviation resulting from increased military activity, anti-aircraft weapons capable of reaching all altitudes, and a lack of coordination between the parties involved in the conflict. From what Aquila is hearing, the U.S. held off specific strikes multiple times over the last few weeks as diplomatic action was still ongoing. But now, since there has been no concessions from the Venezuelan side, those specific strikes are more likely to happen without any prior notice. Report in Al-Hadath, the American envoy, Barak conveyed a message during his meetings in Iraq warning of an imminent Israeli operation against Hezbollah in Lebanon. Barak warned Iraqi officials that Israel would launch a severe strike if the militias there, Hezbollah-affiliated units in Iraq, intervene on Hezbollah's behalf. U.S.-Ukraine talks on Sunday centered on one issue: where to draw a de facto border with Russia under a possible peace deal. NATO is weighing a more aggressive approach to counter Russia's hybrid warfare, including cyber attacks, sabotage, and airspace violations. Admiral Giuseppe Cabo Dragon, chair of the NATO's military committee, said the alliance is exploring proactive, not just reactive responses. I'm sure they'll love that. Trump is forced to direct confrontation with Venezuela's Maduro, and only one can come out on top. Ousting Maduro serves U.S. interests and would restore the Venezuelan government actually elected in 2024, but the reaction of Venezuela's military is uncertain, and any intervention would require follow-up support. If Maduro flees and democracy returns, the impact could ripple across Latin America, possibly even Cuba. But if Trump hesitates and Maduro endures, both Trump and U.S. credibility lost. Trump will meet with top national security officials at the White House on Monday evening to discuss next steps in Venezuela. Attendees are expected to include Hegseth, Joint Chiefs Chairman General Dan Kane, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Chief of Staff Susie Wiles, and Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller. Trump will meet with top national security officials at the White House on Monday evening to discuss next steps on Venezuela. Attendees are expected to include, that's Doubler. Secretary Hegseth authorized Admiral Bradley to conduct these kinetic strikes. According to Carolyn Levitt, Admiral Bradley worked well within the authority of the law and directing the engagement to ensure the boat was destroyed and the threat to the United States was eliminated. Obviously speaking about the deal going on with Hegseth, they're saying he was double tapping fools and stuff. Observers report that Venezuelan Bolivarian Aviation's Sukhoi Su-30 are active over Maracay Izquierdo formation. Russia issues a fine and administrative sentence to a jewelry vendor who sold one of his clients a pentagram-shaped pendant. Satanism and its symbols have been classified as extremism across Russia. Reuters reveals Maduro's demands to step down from power. 15-minute call with Trump on Friday, November 21st. Full amnesty for him and his family, plus a withdrawal in the case for the International Criminal Court. He requested the removal of sanctions on about 100 people of his inner circle. Asked that Delcy Rodriguez, leader of the Socialist League, the moderate wing of the regime, led a transition before new elections. And then Trump, of course, rejected all of those demands. Venezuelan dictator Nicolas Maduro dismisses the possible threat from the U.S., Trump, and our forces, saying that he will never be removed from power under any circumstances and that he will remain in government as long as Chavismo prevails. 11 U.S. warships, over 15,000 troops now in the Caribbean as Venezuela tensions are reaching a boiling point. Spain has deployed more than 100 troops to help contain an outbreak of African swine fever outside Barcelona that has been sparked fears of the country's pork export industry. Portland, Oregon is under fire again for hosting its annual Christmas tree lighting ceremony and nixing any mention of the Christian holiday, while leaders of the event instead waved a Palestinian flag and led the crowd in chants. Attorney General Pam Bondi says that National Guard will be deployed to every major American city. Okay. Japan's 10-year government bond yield surged to 1.84%, its highest level since April of 2008. Japan's 10-year government bond yield jumping around 1.8 basically means Japan's borrowing costs are suddenly way higher than it was or has been in the last 2 decades. Central bank is slowly stepping back, and the new government is planning a big debt-funded spending package, so investors are demanding more interest to keep lending to Japan's government. So to put it simply, markets are starting to worry about how much Japan has borrowed and whether the government is being disciplined. When that trust weakens, bond prices fall and yields shoot up. And what the chart is showing right there. So, as it sums up with an inflation rate of 3% and 10-year bonds of 1.85%, there's more room for the yields to grow even higher. In many German cities, there is less or no Christmas sparkle this winter. It's, quote, too expensive. I'm sure they're not afraid of any of their new neighbors either. U.S. home prices are rising again. Median home sale price rose 2.4% year over year in the 4 weeks, ending November 9th to $393,700. highest since August. Marks the biggest increase in 6 months, according to Redfin. Over the last 3 years, home prices have surged by $18,700. Wow. For the first time since 2021, the average price of gas in the U.S. is down to $3 a gallon. Trump continues to state that he wants gas prices back below $2 a gallon. Unrealized losses at banks remain historically elevated. Unrealized losses on investment securities for U.S. banks reached $337 billion in quarter 3. This marks the 14th consecutive quarter of losses, matching the 2006 to 2009 streak. Furthermore, this figure is 6 times higher. And that, my friends, is your crisis report for December 1st, 2025. We hope you're enjoying this. God bless you all. We'd like to say hello to our friends on Rumble. I'll tell you all about our channel sponsor, which is Augusta Precious Metals. Take your 401k and IRA and put it into gold and silver using your retirement funds, highly rated, Better Business Bureau and such. And, yep, they're a great company. So glad they partnered up with us. Other than that, you can find us on Truth, Gab, Minds, Twitter, X, Subscribestar, Locals, Substack, which you're seeing here. Substack is a great way to get this manuscript emailed to you if you sign up. And that's about it. Usually about 5. Yeah, that's about it. So, all right, friends, God bless you all. We hope you're having a great night. Hit that like button, do the subscribe thing. Consider becoming a member here on YouTube. It is incredibly helpful when you guys are members and helps keep the old Borgarino off our back. So thank you, Bad Bobber, and others. That's it, folks. God bless you all. We hope you have a great night. We'll see you on the next one.